where we rise. Like this is where we show up. This is where we show out. Like we weren't born with silver spoons in our mouth. We are acquainted with sorrow. We are acquainted with grief, but we rise. We rise. My mother got pregnant with me at 17 years old. My grandma had 14 kids and like a 2-3 bedroom house on the south side of Chicago. Like, I didn't become a PhD because my father got a PhD and my grandfather got a PhD. I'm the first one in my family with a PhD. Like, this was birthed from struggle.
You want it badly, what's going to happen is, no matter what the circumstances are, you're not going to let that discourage you or quit. And the fact that you don't let it discourage you is the thing that's gonna allow you to keep getting up and keep laying bricks. And one day you're gonna look up, and because you laid bricks when it was nice outside, you laid bricks when it was foggy, you laid bricks when it was rain, like you just laid bricks regardless of what was going on because you wanted it that bad. I promise you, you're gonna have it. But I said it, I wanna say it one more time. You're not failing because of the circumstance or situation. You're failing because mentally you let the circumstance and situation make you stop laying bricks. Once the sun go down, that's it, I'm done. But as long as there's sun, I'm up, I'm at it. So yeah, winter, 8:30, 9, I'm watching TV, me and D. Summer, I'm not watching TV. We working, doing whatever, walking, playing, having a good time, taking advantage of the sun.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody thinks it's 3 o'clock. And again, I'm not saying that the 3 a.m. does not have its privileges. And I think one of the privileges for me, because I'm not really a very demanding type of person, I'm very accommodating.
Yeah.
For me, it's difficult to get anything done 8, 9, 10 because, especially as a pastor, people are constantly calling me. Now, I'm not strong enough to shut people down.
Yeah.
So for me, getting up at 3 for almost 20 years, that 3 to 7, you know, the kids would get up and go get ready for school about 6:30, 6:30, leave about 7:30, you know, whatever. So for me, it was like, yo, here go 3, 4 hours of undivided, you know, attention, like nobody's caught, nobody's bothering me. So I think for any human, if you can find that time, you get 4 or 5 hours where it's like nobody's disturbing, nobody's bothering you, but it was just difficult for me. The phone's going off. You know, I tell people literally, you getting up at 3 o'clock and you going walking, you know, and talking to the Lord, there are no cars are moving, no animals are walking around, no dogs are barking. Like, bro, it's nothing but you and the black sky, you know, and the stars, you know. So that's really the secret, you know, behind it. I'm a true believer of, you know, 30 days, you know, it becomes a habit, you know, 45, whatever. So I just think like my body, like CJ will laugh and say, we can go out of the country. He's gonna get up, whatever his 3 o'clock is, and I don't intentionally do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that my body knows the clock,
Yeah.
you know, in Dubai,
Yeah.
you know, Australia, but some kind of way I just been doing it for so long, I'm programmed to do it, and if I don't do it, it doesn't seem like I have the same productivity that I would normally have. So for me, it's like, you know, a football player, a basketball player, you know, a soccer, football player. It's like you start doing these routines, and I'm gonna be honest, I truly believe that, yep, you may be gifted and talented, but I believe that routine over a long period of time, like you said, that routine starts to give you some benefits that have nothing to do with like your particular skill set or talent. It's just routine, like, it's like, what's the term they use in business? Exponential growth. What's the other one? Compound interest. It's just like routine along with your $5. You know what I'm saying? You know, turn to a lot.
Yeah.
So that consistency, that routine, I think DC Young Fly said persistency as well. He like, yo, consistency is important, but persistency is the ability to be consistent under pressure. I want to share too why I think it's so important to be spiritual. And it ain't on no religious stuff, but it's like, yo, I try to explain this to people. Money has its benefits, but like money isn't, and people try to act like money is the answer or solves every problem.
Yeah.
Like, yo, it has its role, and if you're in capitalism, it may, you know, it may be a little deeper than maybe in other parts of the world, you know, but I believe money, you know, I believe in mental and emotional health. You know, I believe in relationships. I believe in purpose. And I believe when you combine all of those, it's super powerful. But the spiritual part, I think, it's like a wild card when you play, you know what I'm saying, Uno. Yeah. It's like a wild card. It's like, you know what I'm saying, like, you don't never really know when you're gonna need that joker. Yeah. Or you don't really know the power. It's like a draw 4 wild card. You know what I'm saying? It can change the color, it can change everything. And so for me, an example I always say is like Didi getting MS. Well, of course, having insurance, you know, and having access to, you know, good doctors, but at the end of the day, they can't go in her brain and change the diagnosis, but God can. And so for me, it's like, man, I just think spirituality is so important. So